The Ramble Football Club is proudly sponsored by Glasby Pallets, offering a one-stop solution for all of your pallet needs. Get in touch now on 01709 585 646 to discuss your pallet requirements. And thank you again to Sonny and the team for their continued support of Ramble FC.
Hello and welcome to the Ramble Football Club, your Thursday night show kicking off tonight at 7:30. I'm Paul the Man Mountain here to take you through as the host for today's show. I'm looking forward to this one. We've got some very special guests coming joining us shortly. You'll recognise him and know him, and I'll get him in straight away before we get kicked off. It's the man with a bow.
Jord Motson, the man on the mic, painting the match with a sound so right. Sheffield's pride, every fan can see. He's the voice of the Blades, their melody.
Hello, Jord. How are you doing, pal? Good to see you.
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very, very well, mate. Still loving the intro, mate. They get better, don't they, as it goes along?
Oh, we love it, don't we? We love it.
Mate, we're still waiting to sort out Jimmy's, and we might have a man who might be able to help us with that at some point, joining us in a short while, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. How have you survived the international break, mate? Has it been all right?
I've quite enjoyed it.
Quite enjoyed it. Wow. This is a big question at the minute. Jimmy's asked me to, and he said, make sure you mention the interest levels of the England football team at the minute. I mean, I know I'm slightly more interested because I've seen something good. Are you somebody who's still interested in the England football team and watching England?
I've always had an interest with England, it's a national team at the end of the day. I love watching them, and obviously, especially like World Cups and Euros. I'm probably more interested then. In the qualifying section, which is probably what a lot of people will be like. But I still always watch it, even through qualifiers or friendlies. I'm always watching every game. So yeah, I still take a keen interest in it.
Yeah, well, I think it's a bit of a discussion point, isn't it? Because they tried to make the Nations League, didn't they, a few years ago? To try and add a bit of interest to it. England didn't actually do very well in that. They seem to be quite proficient at sweeping the smaller sides away and get them quite easily. But you can't fault them for that. And like we say, you can always only beat what's in front of you. But do you think that these qualifiers, are they a good spectacle for the viewers, do you think? Or what do you reckon?
I think they're probably only a good spectacle for us if we're winning these, let's say lesser teams, which is probably not being, try not to be disrespectful. But unless, we should be beating them 5 and 6-0. Teams like Latvia and Andorra and, the teams that most of them ain't got professionals in. Some of them are semi-pro, especially like Andorra. We should be battering them. So I think it's only a good spectacle for us if we beat them 5 goals plus. And then when you're playing like Serbia and Albania, it's going to be a tougher game because they're more than likely they're not going to sit. Well, although Serbia did, but they're not going to sit every man behind ball for a full game. They're going to come and have a go and put you under pressure, which is then we like to see how we're going to deal with that instead of just being on front foot constantly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it poses a bit of a different challenge, doesn't it? In that teams, and I'm not saying it's if you're a team at the top of the Premier League, probably more likely than a team at the top of the Championship, where teams are just gonna come and play for a result, aren't they? So they're going to get a result against the side where they're giving away technical ability. I guess that's some people don't find that very interesting though, and I can't blame them. There's a lot of people out there now who don't have quite the same hunger or desire that they had. Certainly when we were kids, when you were, I know we're not quite the same age, Jord, but
quite a way off.
Yeah, quite a while. But the tournaments that I remember was Euro '96 was the first big one for me when I was
Now we're only 2 then, so it's obviously I know about it because I've seen I've seen it on the internet and I have watched the game, so I know about it, but I can't remember it because being 2-year-old, you're not gonna remember
well,
my first tournament, and sorry, I've butted in, and I will let you get to it. My first tournament were 2002, the World Cup.
Okay, 02, right.
I can properly remember.
Well, yeah, I would have been watching that in a student union bar by that point, right? So yeah, I'm not giving too much away there, but yeah, Euro '96 was, and the qualifiers for those, it almost felt like it was all a little bit closer then. I think I remember like some of the qualifying games always seemed to draw things like Sweden and things like, and there was, yeah, some of them were quite interesting. I think Poland were regular as well for us at one point, but no, it seems like, to me, I think that the gap between those top sides, and you could argue it's the similar story in the Premier League with the elite teams, and and across Europe almost. There is a noticeable gap, and it's about whether people find it as interesting as before. A lot of people I've heard tell me they're not as interested, but I'm personally quite infused by what I'm seeing at the moment, just because we've got a manager that's going about it in a slightly different way. I feel like he's Thomas Tuchel. I think he's going to be happy to rattle some cages and leave people out. And I think England always had this problem, haven't they, since then? You'll remember this. I reference you here, Joe, because you remember this one. With the Gerrard Lampard goals, trying to wedge everybody onto the same, all your superstars at the same time, which, again, Gerrard's come out recently and said we should have been able to sort that out, really.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it doesn't feel to me like, I think Southgate did a great job of it as well, like uniting the different teams and sort of breaking down some of the barriers. I think the whole Roy Keane, Vieira in the tunnel thing sort of died a death a little bit, hasn't it, with everybody giving each other a cuddle. Yeah. He bemoans that quite a lot himself. But do you think that, I don't know, do you think that they're more united now as a side? Do you think they look like more of a team?
I think probably looking at these last three games, yeah. Before that, I felt like Southgate had got everyone together, and you could see that they were playing as a team. You could probably say some negative tactics that you'd see, and that's probably from him being a defender himself. It didn't help us, because against you like your France and Spain, we'd always drop from. Sometimes he's played like a positive, more a 4 at back. Against your bigger teams, he'd then drop to the 3, like a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3, and we looked a lot more negative. But Tuchel, I was worried at start, because I thought, as everything, Southgate had done probably everything right. He'd made a few mistakes, but then come towards end, his time were up, but he got a country together, everyone believing in that England team. And I thought, is Tuchel, especially, it's going to sound bad, this, but it's like Sunderland having a manager going to Newcastle, or Sheffield United having a manager going to Sheffield Wednesday. It's that rivalry, in it, and is it going to rock the boat? And I was a bit worried about it. We had a German manager coming in, but when it first started, in first few games, I didn't see too much, and I was like, everything Southgate's built up, are we now going to lose? But these last 3 games, he's implemented his own style. We've looked a lot better, and I've enjoyed the games a lot more as well. So it's looking more positive, and yeah, I think he's united them again, and the players look like especially the other night, I think players look like they knew what their role were, their job was, and they look like they were enjoying themselves.
Yeah, and I think it's something that, like, for me, England has always been, something very dear to my heart. Some of the best memories of football coming from the England teams. I always thought that England was a bit of a graveyard for players sometimes, where they'd have 2 or 3 games, or if they had 1 or 2 bad performances, drop out the squad, never really come back. And I always thought that I always used to look across at some of the other teams and think, well, they've got guys in there in their mid-30s and their early 30s, and they're sort of trying to balance out and build towards a tournament, because it's all right having all these young, exciting players, but when you need a bit of know-how and a bit of game management, I think Sheffield United are a great example. Having a lot of young players, people get excited about that, don't they? Because they think, the youth and the energy and they could end up being something really special, because you never know how a young player is going to progress. But bringing in the likes of like Henderson, for example, John Henderson, as soon as he goes off to Saudi, you just think that's it. Oh no, he didn't. Ajax did. Did he go to? He went to Ajax.
No, he went to Saudi, didn't he? And I think he lasted about 6 months, and then he went on loan to permanent to Ajax, whichever way around it were.
But personally, I'd written him off. I was like,
Absolutely.
that's him, done and dusted. Obviously, thinking from an international point of view, he's brought him in, and he looks like someone with 15 minutes to go. He looks like the perfect man for the job, doesn't he? And fitness has never been an issue for him. He's a very fit lad, and he's just he's not the most fashionable player, but he just has a bit of steel in there, doesn't he?
I get it. For me, I'm one of them. I think Adam Waters should be in over him personally. But I get the experience side that he's bringing, he is bringing to the squad. So I kind of understand it from that point of view. But me personally, I'd be picking Wharton over him. I want to see, he's doing well at Palace, and I want to see him integrated into that team because I think he will become a huge part of our team going forward. But yeah, I get your point, and I totally understand it. Having an experienced head there still at the same time, it's not a bad thing. Spain have done it. Look at how successful they've been, and they've had experienced heads in their team as well as bringing the youth through. So yeah, I get your point.
Yeah, I think yeah. I was quite critical when I saw it at first and thought, oh, hang on, what's happening here? But actually, I'm getting on board with that a little bit more. So yeah, what I was going to do with you, Jord, because obviously they've got to pick 26 for the World Cup. Now, I was going to talk to you about the 11 because I think that everybody's interested in what people's 11s are. But then I'm going to talk about the squad a little bit as well, because for me, 26, how I think about it, there's 3 goalkeepers. There's always set 3 keepers.
Yeah.
So you do that and you think that you want 2 players for each position. So that's your 22 plus 1, 23. Yeah. So I was going to talk to you about the squad. Now, I personally, what I like to do with you is the 3 keepers. We'll go through that, and then we'll pick 2 players per position. In my how it looks at the minute, and then we'll have 3 wild cards at the end that we think we might go through it. But I want you to name your first choice, and then maybe your second as your backup, if you wouldn't mind for me. So in goals, are we agreed? It's Pickford then Henderson all day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any other way. I know obviously Pope, and obviously I know Ramsdale used to be in the question, but Pickford he always performs for England.
Yeah,
he's outstanding for England, and I know a lot of people quick to slag him off, and he does make odd mistakes. It's a tough job being a goalkeeper, isn't it? But he's my starter, and then like you said, the backup has to be Dean Henderson for me.
Okay, and the third keeper, who would you personally go for?
It's probably going to be Nick Pope because he's playing. We've been playing at Newcastle.
You think so?
Yeah.
Not Trafford. I think Trafford's been making a lot of squads.
Not yet. There's probably a chance that he's going to come in, but at later down the line. I think because Nick Pope is the starter for Newcastle, and obviously Trafford's lost his position to Donnarumma at City.
Yeah.
Only after a couple of games, I'm going with Nick Pope.
It's a good call from the point of view that if called upon, I'd probably go with Pope as well, because I'd feel a bit more confident that he's a bit more experienced and been around the block a little bit more.
Yeah,
I think that what he might do is go with Trafford personally, because he has been going with Trafford, mainly because they like to bring these players along. When I was a kid, actually, I remember seeing a very, very, very youthful young man on the back of the England bus, and that was Rio Ferdinand. I think he was traveling around with the squads.
Yeah.
He was being 15 and 16-year-old. They were putting him in and around squads, trying to get, because they knew he was going to be a bit of a beast.
Yeah.
So and they might be thinking that with Trafford, that maybe he's a successor and maybe would benefit from the experience. The chance of using your third keeper are pretty slim as well, aren't they? So
yeah, it's highly unlikely in it, but like you said, they've got to be there because you never know. There's a chance both keepers do get injured and they are called upon. So yeah.
Right. So onto the trickier ones, right? So the right back. So I've been looking at this. There is a couple that do both, but the main players, Reece James, if fit, obviously, because you can toss a coin on that one. Trippier, who's been part of squads and has been doing well for Newcastle. You've obviously got our Galactico Trent. You've got the trusty pace merchant Kyle Walker, England stalwart for the best part of a decade, maybe longer. You've also got young Tino Livramento, who can play there, and you've got an emerging Jed Spence, who I said put to Jimmy about Sheffield United signing a young Jed Spence. that long ago, and it was greeted with no, like that, and that was literally how he sounded when I
I'd have been exactly the same.
well,
I'd have been exactly the same. I always remember what Warnock said about him, and you're thinking about his attitude and thinks he's better than what he is, but he seems to have knuckled down this season and really found his spot at Spurs, doesn't he? And yeah, and he's been playing recently, so.
So go on then, mate. What's your first choice, and then who's your backup?
Jed Spence is my first choice.
Jed Spence is your first choice, right back.
I know a lot of people will probably think about Trent being first choice just because of the name, but for me, I've never liked him as a right back. I think defensively he's poor. He's better. He's probably better going forward, but I think better teams will know he's the weak link on the right hand side defensively, and they'd attack him. So my first choice, and I've been really happy with him, would be Jed Spence. And then behind that, I'm still not picking Trent. I'm going Livramento.
Wow. Okay.
So listen, and a lot of people probably won't think that, but they are my two choices at the moment. Reece James for me, too injury prone. Kyle Walker, I think it's same as what we're saying about Henderson. His time's probably there's other people coming through now at right back, and his time's probably up in his England career. Who else did we mention?
Well, we had Trippier, who's always
Trippier. I think same. Even though I do like Kieran Trippier, but yeah, I'm going two young right backs, and that's
okay. Well, I don't think he'll do that, but I think, oh gosh, that's mate, that's thrown me off. I can't really do that. I personally think that Reece James would be my choice.
I think that's where I'll probably go with.
Is the most rounded of the fullbacks available. I actually think he'll go with one other, and then he might go for one of the two that you mentioned as a can do both, if you know what I mean. But I'd personally, just for those games where we've got to break a team down, I'd probably go with Trent personally, just because of the final ball, and because if you're playing somebody who's going to park the bus, Trent's probably your best option.
Yeah, I totally get that. For him crossing ball from right hand side as well. Like, listen, he's got qualities. There's no doubt about that. But I think I've sort of tried to pick, because I picked the first 11 because that's what we're doing. So I'm trying to think while we're on stream. I'm trying to think of other players.
Right, mate. You got your first choice, then you got one more to choose. So yeah. So left back. So at left back, we've got Lewis Skelly. We've got Shaw, who I think is going to be an option if he stays fit. Hall at Newcastle, and then you've got a very exciting Nico O'Reilly. Is it Nico? It's O'Reilly, isn't it? Over at Manchester City, who has been doing really well recently. So yeah, I mean, left back. I think this is tricky. There's a bit of competition. Livramento and Spence, I think, can do both.
And that's the thing, innit? And that's why I've put Livramento and Spence over at right, but I know they can play left back. So, but I had to go for another choice, and I've gone with Hall. I do like him. I've gone with Hall over Shaw, and Shaw would probably be my backup as well. Lewis Skelly, I think, is just a little bit inexperienced. He's got the potential, but I think if I'm going off, because I've picked two newcomers, so it's two younger players on right hand side in Spence and Livramento, I'm going to put Luke Shaw in for that experience head.
I'd certainly have Luke Shaw if he was fit. I think in tournament football, I think he's still a good player, Luke Shaw, if he's fit. And then for me, it would either be Lewis Skelly or O'Reilly for me, just because I think he carries on the way he's going at the minute and becomes a bit of a regular at Man City.
Yeah.
He's looked really impressive down that left side as well. So interesting. Get your answers in the comments, guys. Who you think you'd like your first 11, or you could do both and do the one and the backup. So the centre backs, quite a lot to choose from. We'll assume we want 4, but we could, gosh knows what, because I think Konza can do a few jobs. So we've got Ezra Konza, who's become a bit of a favourite under the new manager, Mark Guay, and John Stones, Dan Burn, I think Chalobah is a good option at the moment. I think he's coming really nicely at Chelsea. You got the ever trusty Harry Maguire, who might not be as favourable now. Southgate's down the road. And you even had Kwanzaa, who a lot of people were talking about and been predicting him to be part of the squad.
One you've probably missed off as well. And I think if he's fit, I don't know I ain't seen if he's currently been playing, because to be honest, I've not took a massive interest in Premier League with us being Blades, but it's Levi Colwill.
Yeah, absolutely right, mate. I'm going to add him to our list.
So he's one that, in centre back, obviously, I know you picked up a few there, but I think before, he did get an injury, but before that, I'm sure he was getting picked. I'm sure.
So who would you have then, mate? Who would your first two be? Who would your first two be?
What, as the starting centre halves?
Starting two, yeah.
We're not doing like a right-hand side and left-hand side centre half. We're just doing two starting. So I got down as my two starting centre halves in the first 11 as John Stones and Mark Gay.
Yeah, I think that's the pick. That would be most people's choice at this point.
Yeah.
And then your backups, couple of backups.
Backups, because I'm going up left-hand side and he's left-footed. I'm going Dan Burn. Obviously, he did come on, and I think Tuchel probably will favour him, so that's probably an obvious choice.
Yeah.
My choice on right-hand side as a backup, you're looking at Konsa or Harry Maguire, I think. And I'm going to go with Konsa. I quite like him.
Yeah, I think Konsa's done ever so well, hasn't he? Really good recovery tackle the other day in the game during the match. I thought that was brilliant.
He's got a bit of pace, hasn't he, as well? And I think that's what we can lack at centre half. But John Stones is not the quickest, so it's if you've got Konsa and Gay have played together at centre half for England, and you saw the pace that Konsa had got when the Latvian man was through to the day, and he got back, and it was a great challenge. So that I think just having a little bit of pace there, if balls do get played through, that you've got a bit of confidence that he's going to get back and make that challenge.
I do worry a touch about Burn in a 1v1 scenario.
Yeah.
I've watched a few England games, and he could be a difference maker at the top end of the pitch from a set piece. I think he's an absolute destroyer in that front, and he could easily win us a big game with because that's the margins, isn't it, that we're talking about. So yeah, Dan Burn for me, good. But again, going the other way against one, I'd fear him against one of the better sides. I might chuck him on with 10 to go if we're chasing to try and get himself on the end of something.
Yeah, it's like what we had with Maguire, weren't we were dangerous from a corner because we'd look for Maguire. He'd win them headers and he'd get it on target, and it could be a threat at scoring. And Dan Burn's probably it's similar to that, isn't he?
Well, yeah, it depends on, I guess, what happens for Harry Maguire this season will determine whether he's part of the conversation going into the summer. But imagine that if you got the bomb squad ready and you look over to the bench and there's Trent and there's Dan Burn and then there's Harry Maguire, you're thinking, I think I know what they might be going for here. That's old school, mate. Sling them up front, and see what happens. So yeah. But no, it's again another good conversation. I think Konsa's playing his way in, and not many people would have said that long ago.
Yeah,
and I think Colwell's a really good shout. I think because he's a bit injured, isn't he? So he's a bit
out. But it's like I say, if they get fit, to be honest, there's more depth there at centre half than I actually realised what we've got when we started reeling them names off. So it pleases me, quite a bit there that we've got choice.
Yeah. So apologies, guys. I'm a bit. I've been a bit bunged up, as you can probably tell. My voice is a bit odd, and I've got my tissues and stuff. I've been lied out similar to Jim. Also, I want to note the attire we've got on today. Jord's gone full England today. God bless him. Hitting the badge.
Oh yeah, like Chris Wilder.
I've got my retro Barcelona top, which I was gifted to me as a boy, and it's still fits amazingly. So yeah, quite a.
I think that actual top reminds me of like Emmerich Larsson at Barca.
Oh yeah, well, it's probably.
I'm sure he wore that one.
It wouldn't be far off, mate. I wouldn't said it might have been a bit even before him, possibly.
Yeah.
But no, it's one of the old jerseys, and the reason I mentioned it is because of one of our sponsors, okjersey.com. Lots of retro stuff. I think Jimmy's bought half the shop, and he's waiting for it to arrive. It's probably why everybody else's order's been delayed because Jimmy's ordered half the shop. So yeah. okjersey.com. If you put Blades in the in the code as you check out. Then you get 8%, a further 8% off what was already very nicely priced goods. okjersey.com. And that's OKAY, just for your info. So centre mids, we're looking at a very impressive and highly emerging young man that I am so excited about. Anderson is just brilliant. Like his performances at the minute, the way that he passes forward and his calmness in possession, absolutely killing it for me at the minute. So I think him and Declan Rice are going to be very, very tricky for me to see anyone nudging them two out the first two spots if they carry on as they are, obviously. But then we've got quite a lot of people in and around that, and I think I know about for what he's already said. What one of them might be for Jord, but Curtis Jones, Gallagher, who's over at Atletico now, Wharton, Crystal Palace, Kobbie Mainoo, Loftus-Cheek, who's always in and around the edge of it, and then we've got the evergreen Jordan Henderson as well. So we've got quite a lot there that I would say are vying for those two slots in the hold position there. Who would you have then, mate? I mean, I think we both can agree Anderson and Rice is theirs to lose.
Yeah, it's 100% their thing. Obviously, as we did like I said, I thought we were doing an 11. I put it down as a 4-1-4-1 because obviously that's what he's played recently.
Right.
So I'd got Anderson as the holding mid, and then the other two centre mids in the 4. Even though he's not been playing at Real Madrid at the moment, I'd gone with Bellingham and Rice. I feel like an on-form Jude Bellingham offers you so much, and next to Declan Rice, that could be a great pair. And you've got Anderson sat behind them. Yeah. If we are going in the two defensive midfielders, then I'd expect it to be Anderson and Rice. And
well, I don't know if they're going to be defensive, but you know what I mean. It's just I've got a cam position, which I think there's a few more customers that we could add into the mix there, including.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah, so I think you'd go with Wharton from what you've already said.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't disagree. And then you've got your choices there. I personally think he'll go with Henderson.
I do.
As the extra one, and I'm not upset about that. That wouldn't upset me at all. But again, it might be one of the wild card players that gets in there. Kobbie Mainoo's a bit of a forgotten man in there at the minute. I think he needs to certainly pull his socks up if he's going to get a mention. Yeah. So the cam position, or the one that's more likely to join in with a striker, should we say? It might not be a cam. Morgan Rogers is the holder at the minute of the shirt. I think it's been. I think people were getting very, very. Ever excited about Bellingham being omitted from squads, and he just sort of said he needs his rhythm back. He's not fully fit. He's probably best staying with Real Madrid to train, etc. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to bring him back too soon, and it'd be big potatoes.
We've been all right without him, haven't we? But when you're playing minnows like we have been doing, there's players that can step up to that role, and they'll fit in comfortably.
Mate, Rogers has been unbelievable in that role.
The way when he's got his back towards the goal that we're scoring to. You expect him to just control it, and he's probably going to play it out wide, but he doesn't. He sort of drops his shoulder and he's turning his man, and instantly then Kane's looking to get him behind, but it's also opening it wide. He's just attacking wise. It's making it so much better for us, and we look a lot more threatening.
They've been doing a lot more. I think when they play through the thirds to him, I think the key with him is he's got everything. So his touch is great. He can dribble the ball at pace, and he's very fearless in possession. But he moves the ball really quickly. He's done a lot of good first-time balls around the corner, shifting the ball. Yeah. So I think I've been really, really impressed with him. I think the Villa fans will be asking, can we see a little bit more of that for us? Yeah. Because I just think he's been great for England. You've then got other options there. So for me, you've got a number of players that can play either there or play in those wide berths. So for me, you've got Foden, who can play in there. You've got Eze, who can go in there too. You've also got Cole Palmer, who I think could do that job.
Do you know, he's a forgotten man at the moment because he's injured.
Yeah, I know. And then you got Mason Mount, who's on a bit of an emergence at Man United and has been favoured by people in the past. And then obviously for the wide position, you've got yourself.
Foden. You probably missed out Foden as a cam as well.
No, didn't I say Foden?
Did you? Sorry, I might have missed that one. Sorry.
Yeah, Saka, Madueke, and Gordon, obviously, as well. So for that 3, you probably want 6, don't you?
Yeah.
So I think Bellingham and Rodgers, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so 4 more slots. And who's going to take them? Saka, I think that's obvious.
100%.
Gordon, on current form, is the 4th. Then I think we're choosing... Huh?
You've got to drop Palmer in there, haven't you? As
Palmer, has he got to go, has he?
Yeah,
and
for
then,
me, when he's fit, he's different class, isn't he?
And then you're picking between Foden and Madueke, unless you go both and they use them as one.
What about Grealish? Does Grealish get a shout?
Grealish, again, good.
Good. I'd say he's been quite on form at Everton. I think I've been watching Match at Days. He's putting some good performances and he's been getting raved. And I think Tuchel said that, he's not out of the question. And if he keeps up his form, there's every chance that he'll get called up to this, to a squad going forward. So, tough one. I'm trying to think of that last one. I'll let you think of one. Think of yours, and
I think Madueke has been our best player for a few games, hasn't he? I wouldn't be surprised if he took the lot. I wouldn't be surprised if he went for Eze and he put Madueke in as a bonus. And I think it's going to be on Jack Grealish to carry on his form if he's going to get a look in.
Yeah. And I think Grealish is adding that bit of experience again as well.
I think
these big tournaments now, isn't he? And when he comes on, how many times does he draw his man in and he wins them fouls in dangerous positions? So he'd probably get a nod for me with Grealish.
Yeah, I think at the minute he's not a holder. I think he's someone that if someone certainly picks up an injury, I think he's your man. But I'd personally be playing Bellingham in the big games in the camp position. It'd be Saka on the right hand side, obviously, and then on the left, I do think it's a tricky choice at this point in time. But I think Gordon is just about holding it with his recent form. Then
the one that you forgot, I don't know if you mentioned as well, especially on that left hand side. He come up the other day and it's down to him to probably sort his attitude out at Barca. But
Rashford. Gosh, yeah.
We didn't mention Rashford and on for Marcus Rashford when he's running at players, he's causing trouble and he's quick. He can strike a ball. So it's the thing for me is we've talked about defense, and that for me is the weak part of our squad. Going forward, it is frightening the amount of ability and attacking threat we have got in depth as well.
Yeah, Rashford. Oh my gosh, yeah. Now, the striker, it's going to be Kane, and then you've got your choices of Watkins, Delap, and Solanke. But I think the caveat with that is you can stick Rashford in there. You could also stick Gordon in there. So it might be that he doesn't go for any of them, and he just goes, well, Kane's going to be the striker, and if he's not up to it, it'll be Rashford or Gordon if he drops
Watkins, isn't there?
There's only Watkins.
Watkins. We're talking for striker. I think that's the main two that he'll use. It's obvious with that. Kane is starting all day long, and he's in form of his life at the moment. I think he scored 18 goals in 10 games, and that was before he scored 2 the other night. So that's 20 and 11. So it's crazy. If Harry Kane's fit, and I know we expect a lot from him, don't we? And sometimes he's not at his best at tournaments, but how can you not pick Harry Kane? He's the one I think that holds down a spot no matter what in that team.
Well, yeah, no bonuses for getting that one, Jord. I think you're absolutely right, mate. He's the record scorer, and he just looks like he half a chance, and he gobbles it up, doesn't he?
And he can score his left as well, as we saw the other night. He's not just all 1 foot, is he? He's got a decent strike with his left peg as well, so you'd fancy him either way, wherever he lies on that pitch.
It's how we try and coach the kids, mate. That's for sure. Yeah. So yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get our guest Rambler on of Matilda Shakes fame and all of the Ramble tunage. The main man who we went to see last Friday. I'm going to ask him about that as well. James Allen, welcome to our stream. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, yeah. You've listened to me and Jord bang on there for a good half an hour about the. It's all dropped off. Cheers, mate. It's almost a little bit embarrassing, isn't it? How many good players we've got to choose from in the England squad? Not the Blades, obviously, but for the England squad at the minute. Have you got an 11, mate? You got a quick 11 for us?
It'd probably be the same as what you've picked. To be fair, Yeah. I'm one of them. Me with England, I only really follow them in tournament football.
Okay.
They qualify so easy, don't they, for pretty much every tournament? It's just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, I think with me, there's only one tournament I didn't see us qualify for, and that were at Euros when we got knocked out in groups. I think the Croatia draw with us or beat us, whatever it were, and we didn't end up qualifying. One at Euros, I'm sure it were.
Only been once in my lifetime. We've not made it.
2008.
Yeah, 8. Yeah.
I
was also I watched USA '94, which was quite a nice one to watch actually. A very famous tournament with is that the year you were born, Jord? Is that what you're going to say? So yeah, I was oh gosh, I won't say how old I was, but I was watching that, and it was the famous Romario Bebeto doing the baby set. I don't know if you're a scholar of the game, mate. The baby celebration and Roberto Baggio's missed penalty for Italy and all that stuff. So maybe just a bit before. Maybe I'm talking to a couple of babies who don't want to wear that. But anyway, I know there'll be some people in the chat who remember that one as well. But guys, get your 11s in the chat for us. Just going to go. Oh, first of all, let's address there's no elephant in this room tonight, unfortunately for you guys. But not an elephant at all. Last Friday night. Sounds like a Katy Perry song, but we all went down to Sydney Matildas for a gig with the very world famous Matilda Shakes. Absolutely rocking the house, full house as well. I think there was about 20 of us, something like that, from the Ramble representing.
Definitely at least 20 of us, weren't they?
At least 20, yeah. So Jimmy, tell me about that, mate, because that must have been a bit of a high watching you on the stage. Some of the videos I've got are absolutely unbelievable, really good. We all enjoyed it.
Good turnout, wasn't it? We proper all enjoyed it as well. Like seeing as many people there as there were, and obviously Ramblers as well. We appreciate all them coming down. We just had some fun, we just let us hair down. Just went for it, and
I think that showed the performance as well. Like we were jumping around like nutters, weren't we, Jord, at the front there?
Well, you definitely were, because I was trying to keep holding my pint, but all I've got is 6'6" man mountain jumping on top of me. I'm spilling it everywhere. So
well, that my fault.
You were at bar during one of the songs, weren't you?
Oh, don't! I was absolutely fuming. I comes back, and Jimmy just said, "Did you just miss that? They've just done club foot." I was like, "You having a laugh, aren't you?" He's like, "No, I'm not joking." Sounds. It just clearly took about 4 minutes to get served at bar, hasn't it? Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was. It's fair to say it was a bit of a boozy do. Fair to say. I think there was a few swells consumed by the boys.
What time did you get in, James?
6.
6 in the morning.
6.
Proper rock and roll lifestyle.
Mate, just in time to get the kids up. Beautiful.
Mrs. saying it were hilarious watching that ring doorbell. We're all over. Couldn't get key at lock.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
the only thing I'd like to say, James, is when you come on stage, you're playing, is it Right Here, Right Now?
We were.
Well, I don't quite like that because they play that at Hillsborough before Piglets are coming out. So I was like, I can't believe they're playing that, especially
curvy there, mate.
3 or 4 blades and one Wednesday fan in your band.
Honestly, I can't say I've really paid much attention to what Wednesday play. Irrelevant.
When I've been there, especially last season when we beat them, didn't we? So, but yeah, I remember him playing it.
What's worse, that he played it or that you know it, Jord? That they play it. That's the question. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly through some of the comments just to make sure that everyone gets a look in today. So Mel Drew, here he is. Good evening, chaps. Hope you're all well. Fingers crossed for a positive result on Saturday. Still full Blades mode. The man on the mic. Good evening, gents. Good evening, Nigel. Hope you're well, pal. I think he can get stick for nothing. Oh, here we go. He's got his shield out. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you want to watch, then watch. End of the day, it's coming home. America 2026. He's on the bandwagon already. Good lad. Dave Morwood. Good evening, gents. Looking forward to this. Got to be happy with Tuchel and the team's performance. Positive England. Absolutely. Yeah, I think he's been good, Tuchel, for me so far. Like you say, a shaky start, but he looks like he's not afraid to put a team together, which has been, like I said, something that they've been a bit afraid of in the past, maybe trying to crowbar players in, but he must be happy with the way that they're going at the minute. Evening, guys. The hair's looking on point today, lads. Proper jealous. He's got his turtle wax out. Anyone who's better than Southgate, but Tuchel will do well with us. Good times ahead. Positive Keith. I still don't know what that means. Evening, guys. England fan all my life, and I've been for several games, but I sit through and suffer the qualifiers. They get super excited for the tournaments. Always stay with them, though. Absolutely right, Lewis. We're all more excited for the tournaments, mate. But it's good to get a glimpse of what he's trying to do. And I know we're not playing anybody any good, so it's all can be a bit misleading. But I think we're hopeful England fans at the minute. Yeah. Always remember Beckham's goal against Argentina. Watched it on Tony Curry's soccer school at Olive Grove pitches. Proper memories. Yeah. Check you out, Mildrew. Name dropping. Regarding Tuchel, wasn't impressed early doors. We're seeing an improvement now. And like they ignores the media a bit. One or two squad selections. He's building a team, not individuals. Lewis, absolutely spot on.
One thing I thought Tuchel did well the other day, obviously, I know he come out after the Wales game saying about atmosphere, and then England fans were gaining some banter during the joint game saying Tuchel gives a song and are we loud enough for you, etc. and all that. And he turned and clapped him, didn't he? And he, after the game, he come out and said, like, fair play. I'm open for this banter. I deserve some merit, and he's all for it. And I thought that's the way to especially get fans on side, because he could have come out and got face on and saying, well, this is what it should have been like at Wembley, etc. And he didn't. I thought he handled it very well, to be honest.
I agree with you, mate. I think he showed a bit of personality in his response to that, because I'm with him. You come and watch your team, but make some noise. I think it's something that you can't be up in arms about that. If they say, well, where's the noise? Come on, make some noise, and then they do, and then I think it sounds better in an away stadium, because you get the away fans, and as we know, the ones that travel tend to give it a bit of volume. And good on them for that. I feel we're moving in the right direction, but I think a couple of top class players short of winning a World Cup. I won't say that, Lewis. I think we've got a lot to offer. Centre half options against top teams. Wait and see. I think Gay's getting better by the game. He looks like a world class player. Lots of big clubs eyeing him. People like Stones because he's been at City for a while, I think. But I think Konza's done a good job too from nowhere, really. So good for him. But now I know what you mean, Lewis. I think the international breaks would be worse for no games to watch. England 6 wins. That's not what's not to like. Good to see our players in our own team play for their country. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Pete Campervan training. Do you think, boys? Do you think Southgate? I've heard some people at Southgate touted for a few jobs, and there's a lot of fans that are a bit like, no, don't want him. Is he? I think he's done a pretty amazing job when you consider his record. And I know that we get frustrated with things at times in terms of going defensive when we shouldn't. But is he in line for a big job somewhere, do we think, lads?
Go on, James. I'll let you have a go.
I don't think he'll get one. I think with that side that he had, I think a top manager who won a World Cup for us.
It's a big shout. I know what you're saying. It's a big shout. I think
he did a good job for us, though.
I think he did a good job of uniting players and nation.
Yeah. It weren't the prettiest to watch at times, were it?
No.
But as we see with United, we're not kind of bothered how pretty it is now. As long as you're winning games, that's all that matters. It's just we just fell at final hurdle, didn't we? And we probably we should have won a tournament with this team. But I think overall, Southgate's tenure in England were a successful one.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know. It's when his name gets mentioned, I hear fans spewing everywhere. Don't want him. It's like, oh well, I think he gets a bit of a raw press. But anyway,
I couldn't see him getting a City job or a Man United job or like that. I just can't see it.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with that. I don't see him getting a big, massive one. I think, to be honest, people say, obviously Man U are a big team, but the state that they're sort of in at the moment, he's probably more likely to get a job at Man United for me.
So Mark has said, watch Henderson for Brentford and you'll see why Tuchel picks him. Adam Wharton is so good and too good not to play him. Anderson, decent backup. They worry against better opposition. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it, but I won't be backing up Anderson at the minute. I think he's too good. Reece James, if fit, top class, going both ways. I think he's the most complete of our right backs, personally. Pickford, Trent, Stones, Gay, Lewis Skelly, Rice, Anderson, Saka, Bellingham, Palmer, Kane. Oh, gosh, what a team. If I picked from a fully fit squad to my Palmer shoehorned in, but can't leave him out. He's too good.
It's not a bad team, is it?
Don't feel very Tuchel-esque for me. Centre-back not being mentioned for England, Tomori at AC Milan.
Yeah, I can see. I've mentioned, well, not mentioned him on stream, but to friends and stuff like that, and I kind of agree. But it's just no England manager ever seems to pick him, so I think that's why you don't really throw him in at, do you? Because he never really gets never gets a chance or gets a game.
No, I know what you mean. Couldn't agree more on the centre-backs. Both starting back. Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about, Mark. Sorry, mate. Agree with Meldrew regarding Wharton. Doesn't get into my preferred 11. Take even the two centre-mids out and he's first in. Great option for us and good quality. Yeah, he seldom gives the ball away, does he? He's one of those Michael Carrick style-y, Luka Modric. Doesn't lose the ball very often. Trying to push the play forward. What I found in the last few years in positions from Jamie Dumpling, you could say we didn't have depth like left back and centre back. Now have that in abundance, and it feels like the work Gareth laid has helped Tuchel a lot. Yeah, there's some good players who've come through under Southgate that are going to be that are better off for the experience.
There's one man we could thank as well, and it's lower down. It's under 21s. It's Lee Carsley. He's brought through a hell of a lot of young players into that team, and he's been successful. He's won 2 Euro under 21 championships, so I think he's partly to thank for that as well.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong, mate. I think it's a big shout for Lee Carsley, because I think a lot those youth teams have done amazingly well, haven't they? Under 19s, 20s. 21s and stuff, and Carsley's been a massive bit for that, so good for him. Fair play to him as well for doing it. He didn't have much of a rep before he got there, did he? No. I played Trent if we go 5 at the back, Konza, Gay and Stones, so he can have less defensive responsibilities, and Konza can play right back, so they play the Tanganga type role. Okay, I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of Jamie, maybe in the big game, but the group games, with all the more group games that are going to be going on, I think it's going to be pinning teams back quite a lot of the time. Yeah. The irony of England nowadays is that we've started to produce some great attacking players, midfielders and fullbacks, when I think used to be centre backs. Yeah, Lewis, you're not wrong, mate. We used to have too many, lots of good centre halves never got a look in because of who was in front of him, did they? Yeah. You imagine if you were around when Sol Campbell and John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, when those guys are in town, it's hard for anyone to get a spot, that's for sure. Colwill and Dan Burn can play fullback too. I wouldn't have Dan Burn at left back personally, but Cam for me is either Palmer or Foden, the 2 most talented 10s in the country. Ooh,
are you leaving out Bellingham on that one?
Bellingham gone, Lee? Have a word, mate. Have a think. It's funny because the Villa Rodgers has been poor so far this season. Not wrong. I think, like I said, if I was a Villa fan, I'd be like, gives a bit of this form. Yeah. Foden over Palmer for me. Foden has played a handful of good games. Yeah, Foden's gone right off the boil. Good season.
I think he's been all right at City, but there's not many games I can pick probably on one hand where I've been saying Foden's been absolutely class for England. He's frustrated me a lot.
Yeah, I think he's not where he was, and he's still a bit behind that. He is coming back because last season was a disaster, especially if you picked him for your dream team and got nothing from what he was supposed to be your best player. Rashford will go. Yep, you're right. Agree on number 10s, Lee. A fan of both. Palmer gets the nod. All right, let's get through some of these. Jazz Bowen. Oh, God, chuck that on the list. Jazz Bowen. Yeah, he should be part of it. Well done, Jamie Dumpling. I'll give you that one, mate. Croatia beat us 3-2. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I remember
that. Here we go. Dumpling asking the big questions. Where did you go after we all got separated? Where did you go?
I went for food. I couldn't find a pizza shop, so I ended up in Devonshire Chippy. I had a greasy chip butter.
Yeah, for 4.5 hours. Yeah, nice one. Great show Friday night, James. On to the next one, says Lee. And then Bellingham's an 8, not a 10 for me. Okay, Lee.
He plays that role, doesn't he, a lot for England in number 8.
Yeah, he does. But yeah, again, if you're going to play your 2 other ones, then you can get away with it, can't you? So what we're going to do, Yeah, that's yeah. Okay, so yeah, we won't read that out just for credibility purposes. But we've got to do our score predictions, lads, before the night is too old.
Let's just talk about last week though. Like last week's scores.
Yeah, last week
it was leading the top of the pile.
Well, as United fans, we're not allowed to look at the league table until 15 games in. So that's what I've told myself. Yeah, Jord seems really happy with himself because he got one result right out of the 5.
That's the top of the league.
And got his 3 points. He did. So he is top of the league. I got 2 results, so I got 2 points, and everybody else got 1 point, which is dismal. Again, don't come
It was
to
tough to choose from because we only got League One and League Two games, though, didn't we? So it could go a little bit better for everyone.
It could, and it very well couldn't. So we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, we'll go through the games. I'm going to note down your scores, boys, and stick your predictions down in the comments, lads, for a bit of credibility, and ladies, if you want any for the particular games that we're going to talk about. So the first game is Burnley versus Leeds. I'm going to tell you where the other lads were. So Jimmy's gone for 2-1 to Leeds. Trying to be mates with Connor there. Good lad. Lee has gone for 1-1, so he's gone for a score draw. And I have gone for a 1-0 Burnley victory. So, Jord, what are you saying, mate, about Burnley and Leeds? So we've got 3 different results there. So where do you sit?
A different one. I've gone 1-0 Leeds.
1-0 to Leeds.
Yeah, I think it'd be a cagey game. I think it'd be close. It'd be tight. I think Leeds will pip it.
You do. Okay. Big shout away from home. Probably the biggest game of Burnley's season, that. So
yeah,
we'll see. James, what you saying, mate?
I went same 1-0 Leeds.
1-0 Leeds. Oh, that's for the Ramblers.
It will be a close game.
Team Ramble currently sat on 1 point. All their faith in James tonight, and he's got.
Let's hope you're better than Meldrew's choices last week.
No pressure. Meldrew's gone for Burnley 1, Leeds 1. Unfortunately, my friend, you're 1-0. So Bradford versus Barnsley. Jimmy's gone for Bradford 2-0, biased towards Bradford, obviously with Cammy links and all the other stuff. Lee's gone for 2-1 to Bradford over Barnsley. And my mucker will be happy with this. Not my mucker, really, but he's Cal Fowler will be happy with it with me. It's a 2-1 win for Barnsley over Bradford for me. So 1-2 is the score I've gone for. What are you saying, Jord?
I'm going Bradford 2, Barnsley 1.
Oh my God!
I think again it's going to be a tight game, but I just think Barnsley seem to, especially when I've been looking at form, just a little bit of a miss at the moment. I think Bradford have been a little bit more consistent. So I went with a Bradford 2-1 win.
Okay. James, what are you saying? Same.
Have you been looking at my results? I went 2-1 Bradford.
2-1 Bradford. There you go. So I'm the one who's out on a limb. So we've got 3 2-1s. Lee, Jordan, James, all going for a 2-1 to Bradford. Very conservative, lads, that. Right, Salford and Oldham. So Jimmy's gone for 1 apiece. Lee's gone for 1 apiece. I've gone for 2-1 to Salford. Okay, and then Jord, what are you saying?
I've gone 1-1.
1 apiece again.
Yeah. It's a local derby, isn't it? And
3 of you all go for the same result.
I'd like to have gone different, but I can't see. I think it'll finish a draw. I think neither team, they're not exactly hitting the heights at the moment. And a local derby, they're always cagey, aren't they? You never really see someone. It's only every now and then someone runs away with it a bit. So, yeah, 1-1.
Go on, James, what are you saying?
I've gone for a tie 1-0 win for Salford.
Salford 1-0. So me and James have gone for Salford's tight win, and then 2-1 and 1-0, and then we've got 3 1-1s. Stinks of last week's that does. Sunderland versus Wolves. This is a massive juggernaut of a game in the Premier League. For 2 sides who are going to be in the shake-up at the bottom at the end. Jimmy went for 1-0 to Sunderland. Lee went for 2-1 to Sunderland, and I've gone for a 1 each. What are you saying, Jord?
And I've gone one each as well.
Oh, well.
Oh, you know what's coming here, don't you?
Don't be in the 1-1 club. Here we go.
I've gone 1-1 as well.
Why not? We're all doing it. Yeah, I think that will be a tight game. Sunderland, to be honest, Sunderland doing all right at home this season. They've started off well. Wolves have obviously been poor.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what score they finished in the last game. I won it against the surprise. It was a surprise result, I think, and I think they might build from that. But they'll not take all the 3 points, but they'll get a point up there.
Okay, James, your choice of game this one: Coventry and Blackburn. I think there's some money on a Coventry win here. Jim went for 3-1 to Cov. Lee's gone for 2-0. I've gone for 2-1 to Coventry. Jord, what are you saying?
3-0.
3-0.
I think with goals that Coventry are scoring at the moment, I couldn't go. I don't know why I couldn't feel myself going for 4-0. I probably bottled that, and there's every chance it could be. So I went one below it and went 3-0.
Hang on, that's right. That Jordan think that will be a tight game, Motson. I think he said that. He said that a few times. Bless
Better
him.
than being negative in it.
But, yeah, well, there you go. Lewis is going for a 2-1 Barnsley win. Didsy bias, Mr. Mountain. Yes, there is a Didsy bias. So, James, who are you copying this time, mate? Who are you going to have?
He's definitely seen my results. Definitely. So I've gone 3-0 for Coventry as well. I just think they've been in such good form this season. I think in the last 3 games they've won 2-0 each time. Yeah. Obviously, battered Wednesday, didn't they?
Okay, so just for the record then, so Burnley Leeds, George's gone for 1-0 Leeds as of you, James. Bradford and Barnsley, George's gone for 2-1 to Bradford, same as you, James. Sunderland versus Wolves, he's gone for 1-1, same as you, James. Coventry and Blackburn, he's gone for 3-0, same as you, James. Salford and Oldham, he's got 1-1, so he's copied Jim and Lee. And you've gone for 1-0. So it's
I think everyone's copying me. I'm the one
I kind of wish.
I'm sat at top at table after 1 week.
I kind of wish I'd have gone first, and then it'd have been you copying me, wouldn't it?
Well, that's what we're going to say. I'm going to say it's me who's gone first. So technically, it's like
Meldrews were you boys. Cov 3-0. Yeah, I think last week proved that. No matter what you say, you could be miles off.
Wait. Apart from literally that one, I got the one result. I think rest of them, I weren't even anywhere near.
No, I think there was one that everyone had a draw for, and it was 4-0, weren't it? Leighton Orient was it? So yeah, it's all a bit of a lottery, lads. But no, obviously, been a good show, lads. Just talking about England, obviously in an international week, it makes a bit of sense to do that. Obviously, is there anything that we're looking forward to regarding the game for Sheffield United? Is anyone going? I'm going to be there on Saturday.
Yep, I'll be there.
Working. I'll be watching it on my phone.
You'll be watching it, yeah. He'll have his phone out ready. Yep, I'll be on the cop with Lee on Saturday. So hopefully we'll catch loads of you ramblers. Triple point beforehand. Hopefully this cold disappears so I can. I won't be too red-faced and red-nosed as well. But thanks a lot, lads, for joining me this evening. I've been really enjoyed it, actually. It's been good chewing the fat. Finally,
it's gone quick as well. It shows, doesn't it, when you're having fun?
There you go, mate. That's it. Always the way on this on our football therapy. Okay, talking about our beloved England. James, fair weather England fan, but we don't blame him for that. Don't worry about it. So yeah, James, again, get working on Jimmy's. The thing is, if you do it, it'll be credible. What I want to get is an AI tune for Jim, because if you do it, I don't want him to have this cool guitar riff. I want him to have some ropey introductions tune like the rest of us. So see if you can think of something, James.
I reckon I know how Jimmy does it.
Yeah,
I'll have a look into it.
If you do know, mate, get him one made, and we'll make sure it gets put up. But anyway. Yeah, we thank you for joining us on Football Therapy. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you all next Thursday. Might not be me, might not be Jord, could be anybody. Literally, we've got James on this week. So celebrity in our midst. Local Sheffield celeb, James. Thanks for joining us, mate. All right, everyone take care, and we'll look forward to hopefully 3 points on Saturday for the Blades. See you later, guys.